Oh, well. Are we live? Oh, we're live. Ooh, man. We are in the show.
I think we're live.
Let me see. Oh, I better mute this. Oh, yeah, we are. We're live. I see it. Yep. We are on the YouTubes. Oh, gosh. I sound so old when I say it like that. Can't stop the feeling. Dance, 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 dance. I'm acting so silly. I don't even know Pete's probably hearing me like, what the hell is this guy doing? I'm actually looking for my digital art pen. I had it here somewhere, and I wanted to share my screen. I know we're live right now, so I'm just, I don't know. Pete's probably working on some technical stuff because in case you guys are watching this right now, we're going to keep it starting. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties or anything. From what Pete said, he was having some delays, so, just thought I might do the intro for us. We're going to be having a chat about, like always, we have our casual chats about the topic is more money, more time, making comics, and any other random topics that may come up. So, and we're always, especially me, I'll let Pete, me and him will go back and forth, but you got to also remember he's working on some art and stuff that, that he has to get done. As the title of the thumbnail says, more money, more time. And he has to spend his time working on commissions and projects that will pay the bills. I think that's very important. We always got to remember that's in your art journey. You, of course, I think we all have to balance time and money. So, it's important. It's important to any and every artist to find a balance in life when it comes to things like, let me get this microphone a little bit closer. I feel like it might not be, my mic is really funky sometimes, but because it's a cheap mic, I ain't balling, working with what I got. I think a lot of artists are like that. I hear you now. You're back, Pete.
Am I here? You hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Overhaul my computer or something. I don't know why it's such in bad shape at the moment, but yeah, just bear with it, everybody. Thanks for doing my little intro. Let's just move forward and do the best we can. A few things off the bat. Philip Russett of CreativeCon event, both on YouTube and Facebook, is having a gathering this evening. I believe it starts at 9:30, and I'll be the first guest in a lineup of guests talking about all I do. But it's always good to get on other channels and promote yourself. So I'll be there, and hopefully you hear me, Chris.
Yeah, I hear you.
Am I coming through? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll be on that channel tonight. Sunday, I'll be doing another Pimp Your Comic episode. That will be an open stream for creators to come on and talk about their projects, their crowdfunders, and what they're up to. So I did it twice before. It's pretty much successful. Totally other people, anybody. Uh, have a lot of guests on, including today. So that would be a lot of fun. Other than that, I have currently a stack of artwork that I put together a Dropbox, and I'm selling it all if possible.
Yeah.
You could find a link on my social sites. The easiest would be you just go to my Instagram and find it there. I'll get it in the video description at some point when I get a chance. I got a lot going on. So I sold some of the artwork, so I have to actually put together a package, and I got some comics going out and other artwork. So that is definitely good. As you may notice, there's nothing fancy going on today because I have to pay a StreamYard subscription for this month going forward. So it just ran out the other day. But I want to make sure I have enough. I have enough money in my account before I do so. But yeah, it's good that I sold a bunch of artwork. And I get other artwork I'm selling. I have I did a 10-page story with a penciler, and actually the writer wants to buy all the pages from us. So if that goes through and actually happens, then I'll be in really good shape. Selling those for a good amount of money. And usually I get like a third of the pages being an anchor on projects. But I spoke with the penciler, and he's like, yeah, you could take 50%. So we're splitting it 50-50.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, going on the title, Money More Time. It's, this past year for myself and many other people, obviously, but, has been challenging. And, I had projects that stopped happening. I had other deals that didn't go through because everybody's struggling. And with my master plan, it's sort of a for like emergency situation right now. So I'm just working day by day, doing the best I can, and things are doing probably, if all goes well, like really next month, I'll be able to focus more on getting a lot more business done. I'm also working on my studio, as well as, like Chris said earlier, working on projects, commissions, and making my own art. So, as well as working on retro and trying to get this book done. So definitely bringing in more money helps. And, thank you to everybody who's contributing as a Patreon or buying artwork from me, or, wanting me to be a part of their projects. being a freelance artist, writer, everything is definitely challenging. So, hey, Chris, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm listening, brother. I tend to ramble on, and on occasion, I'll admit it's maybe a character flaw where I'll interrupt, and I'm doing my best to learn and grow as a person in general, and like not to just cut people off. I do it not on purpose. I do it because at times I have so many thoughts in my head, and I just want to get them out. And I think a lot of people are like that, but I'm learning and there's an old saying.
Yeah.
God gave us 2 ears and one mouth, so more than likely it's more important to listen opposed to talking, and I think that's very important. But at the same time, we all have things on our mind that we want to get out. Just learning patience and trying to understand where other people are coming from is real important. And to stay on topic, as far as money and time, I think a lot of artists and creators tend to have this idea that money is a bad thing. That if all you're doing art for the money, money is a tool. I know I'm not the first person to say this. Money is a tool. You need that tool to live, to survive, and to keep on creating art. Like, we all need to live. I mean, yeah, there's certain things that we all want to buy with our money. Sometimes they're things that just bring us joy in our life, like a fun video game, a really cool piece of art from another artist, not just our own art. Sometimes we like, Peter does really cool, like, I really like your inked drawings. For me, it's just, I love the black and white medium. That stuff's really cool. To me, that stuff is what I would spend money on. That right now, I can't spend too much money on anything. I'm unemployed. And I only have, like we've talked about before, and I've said this many times. I have I have a few good days every other week almost, but I do what I can. And but again, sticking to the topic,
Yeah.
money.
I mean,
And
that's
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
that's the kind. No problem. It's that darn delay. A lot of creators are in shape, with the pandemic, and a lot of freelancers who have a day job or part-time jobs or whatever, or have lost them this year, and everybody's struggling. There's hope, there's light. Supposedly a couple of companies are finding vaccine, possibly, but it's going to
Yeah.
take time. Not only for the pandemic, but also like to get businesses back up and running. So 6 months, a year, whatever. Meanwhile, we just have to do our best and work and just make things happen. Money is highly important. I worked for big companies back in the day, and people consider me a professional, but it's like, it's easy to be a professional working for the bigger companies, to where you have a guaranteed influx of money, and it's just, you just churn out pages and easy breezy. I don't have to worry about promoting myself. I don't have to worry about anything, like when I was working for Mall in DC, except work. Now I'm trying to do everything, and it's like you can only spend so much time on all the little bits and moving pieces.
Yeah, it's like it's when you're doing like freelance work, it's not the easiest thing in the world to balance things like networking and finding time to work on projects that pay the bills. Like it's like in the beginning of this, and I was talking about it a little bit, is that you got to find a balance between work that pays and bringing enough attention to your work that allows you to get the work to pay the bills so you can keep creating. And in general, what I like to talk about is doing things you're passionate about and that you love doing. I mean, sometimes it takes a longer time, and it's just reality to get to the point where you can get work on a consistent basis. And everybody's life situation is different. Everybody's going through things. I have my things, you have your things, we all have things that we're going on. We just need to work on it, do what we can, and keep moving forward. I think that's really important. So I'm curious, what are you working on at the moment, like as far as projects go?
Well, besides retro, there's a book called Hawk of New York. My friend Randy Bishop, I'm inking that. There's a graphic novel. It's called The Chosen Few, but it will be months, into next year that can really talk about it, really promote it. So I've been working on that. And that's mostly my inking gigs. I got commission work. I got artwork I'm trying to make that I could sell. And I'm trying to, as build up my YouTube channel. So a lot of networking takes up too much time. I'm trying to do some writing, so it's a lot. I got way too much on my plate, which is like, goes along with the title. It's like, if I had a bigger influx of money, then I would have more time, then I'd able to relax and just focus on the work itself for a while. I don't feel like I'm in that position right now. I've I've got accustomed to just getting by. I never asked for a lot as far as my rates go, or would I charge people for missions. It's like I see what other people charge, and some people charge like nothing, and some people charge like way too much. I'm sort of on the low end. I would like more people to get my art.
Yeah.
So it's on the one hand, it's it's good because more people are getting my artwork and putting it in their homes and all that and enjoying it. On the other hand, it's like, I see some guys, they're okay and they're just slamming out pieces one after the other. And it's like, man, and they're charging like an arm and a leg. And it's like, oh, maybe I should be one of those guys.
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult thing when it comes to things like and this even goes for like creating YouTube content as well, like the quantity versus quality. Should you spend like 3 days creating a beautiful piece of artwork and charge a crap load of money for it, or should you crank out like 100 pieces of artwork within a week and then charge a low price and then make money that way? I mean, I think there's pros and cons to each, and I think and this is all, I don't I don't subscribe to any of these. These are just ideas that come to mind whenever I think about these things. It's I think the important thing to think about is when you're thinking about time and money, is that what can you do that's more efficient for you? If you know for sure that you can sell a piece of art that you spent 20 hours on for at minimum, I would say, $10 an hour, if you consider yourself, and that's the hard part, to where you understand how people value your art. And I mean, we could go in for hours on that topic, on how people find value in art. But my point is,
Yep.
you know, my point is what works for you. Like, are you a fast artist, and is it of decent quality? Then I would say, yeah, produce a crap load of artwork. If you're not really fast and it takes you a couple hours to, you know, produce a beautiful piece of art, and you know for a fact that you have people willing to pay you $1,000 for something that took you a week to finish, then hey, do it. That's $4,000 in a month. That's pretty decent money for an artist. But if you're in the middle of the road, and you have to pay bills, sometimes you got to take those art jobs that may not be your most favorite thing, but you know what? You're paying your bills, you're moving on, and in your spare time, you work on personal projects that are important to you. And, I think it's important to keep the end goal in mind whenever you're focusing on what projects to take, what type of art you want to make, and increasing your income. I mean, I have all these thoughts, and currently my number one focus, of course, like we've talked about this before, is my health. That has to be number one, because obviously I'm fighting cancer. But just
Yeah.
without going too much into that, because that's not what this is about right now. And I can mention that because I'm going through it, but it's a highly curable cancer, and it takes a toll on me physically, but I believe truly that I'll get through it, and I'll leave it at that. But the other part of it is, there's everybody's life situation is different. You could have COVID-19. You could have family members that you're trying to take care of. You could just be an artist that's working hard on, just living and still learning and growing. So just work on what you can when you can. Do your best. And what's that old P90X commercial? Do your best and forget the rest. I used to watch that shit trying to get buff. I'm stupid. I don't know. I like that stuff.
Yeah, definitely, like I know I can work smarter, and um, I'm working towards that. It's like I'm working on that in little ways each day, and I see it as like I'm not going to be one of those guys like you were explaining before, who does 100 pieces in a week and sells them for nearly nothing. But because it's so much, they make pretty decent money. I probably will. You know, I'm a long way from being one of those top guys that could do work on one piece the whole week and sell it for top dollar. I would love to be that guy, but I don't think my is there yet. So I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But I think, one of the projects I am waiting to start on is approached me a while back, a trilogy novel, and I think my best bet is because that will get me a good size advance, and I'll have a portion of the day set aside to just write and work on that project, and everything else will be me working on retro. um, but that's what I'm hoping, sooner than later, but I'm not there's no guarantee when it's going to start. So I'm not really worried about it at the moment. I'm just playing with what I got.
Yeah, that's definitely important. And you like I was saying, you have to do what works for you within the time you have, with understanding your own skill level, and that kind of, and what the marketplace, how the marketplace values your art, and over time, I think you can eventually go up a little bit more, little by little, on your rates. The more you get known, and I think what's interesting to me is how you work and how you get work is, and this is only from observation, and maybe you can help clarify things a little bit for people that are watching this. Like, you do really well with networking and
Sure.
connecting with other people that want to hire you for work. And like you were saying earlier, it doesn't always work out, but for the most part, you network enough to kind of get enough projects coming in to where it helps you sustain yourself. I mean, let's be real, we're not all like, neither you or I are like millionaires. We're working our best to get work, and get projects and things that allow us to to keep going in our pursuit of being artists in what can be at times a difficult field of work. So my
Yeah.
question basically to you
Yeah. I
is,
mean,
I'm sorry.
okay, go
Let
ahead.
me clarify my question before I before I interrupt you anymore, and I'll shut up. Um, what I'm trying to say is, what is your, how do you network with people? How do you connect with people to get the projects and stuff that you get to work on? I think that's really a really interesting and helpful topic to a lot of people that might be interested in doing penciling or inking or writing, whatever.
Sure. I mean, yeah. It's I feel, and like, um, the people hiring me may say differently, but I feel like because I'm present online, um, you know, being busy, doing this, doing that, showing off artwork, showing off comics I'm working on, streaming on YouTube, constantly posting on Facebook and Instagram, and because I'm active, that people take notice and conversations start, like, on Messenger, and just instant direct message on. So that's how, like, work develops. It's like, they know I'm busy. They know, my work from various projects. A lot of times it's like, yeah, I remember you for working at Marvel and DC, back in the day, and or they see more of my recent work on different things, or they just don't know me at all, and see a pretty picture I put up. um, but it's all just like they say, hey, like, and yeah, thanks, like starting conversations, just starting private conversations, and asking for help, like they see I know something about something, and they're like, how do you do this, how do you do that, and then I'll hear back from them like 6 months later and say, hey, I'm working on this project, and I enjoyed our talk uh, from before, and I was wondering if you'd be interested, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So, like, yeah, I think that's an extremely important way to you know, share with people, like to consistently have a presence online. I think that's really important. And then not only that, don't just like post your artwork or what you post stuff that you know, just to be consistently posting online and consistently make an attempt to connect with your audience. You know, connect with people that are seeing your work, and if you can help. Um, you know, I think there's a large part of the community that does certain things. That there's a lot of people in the art community that say never do things for free. I think to a certain extent you can do some things for free, but if it's going to take you like, you know, a week to do something for free, you get nothing out of it, and you're not passionate about it, and you're doing it for quote unquote exposure. I mean, for me, you would have to have a tremendous audience, bigger than mine, in order for me to do something for you for free if it's something that I don't care about. Like, if it's something I care about, I would, and very passionate about, and for someone that I care about, then that's different. I would do it for free. I would consider doing it for free. And it just depends on the project, it depends on the time, and it depends on the money, that I have. And meaning the money that I don't have, put it that way. But in general, it's all balance. And I'll always, I'm always going to say, do what works best for you. Everybody's different. Like, I don't think there's any firm way that you can say you can't give art for free. You should never do it for exposure. Well, hell, if I don't know, if Jazza contacts me and tells me he wants to collaborate on a comic, well, hell yeah, I'm going to do it, and I'll do it for free because he has millions of fans. Doing that for free, that would bring an audience, and I would, that would definitely bring in paid work, and from there on, depending on your level of, of skill and your level of, I don't want to say popularity, but I guess that's the best way I can think of right now to describe it. Your level of popularity on the internet that will allow you to charge more for, your art and projects and things like that. So, I mean, that's my point of view. That's the way I see it. And then there's the other side of it for me. Like this project I'm working on right now, I'm working on a t-shirt for a motorcycle club that has, they're called Female Brothers. They're a Latino lowrider club in my local area in Houston, and they basically go out and help people that are having a rough time with cancer and paying the bills and things like that. And they, they've driven out to my little tiny apartment, and they've dropped off food and money just out of the kindness of their heart, cash money, to help me in my greatest times of need. And they found out that I do art, and they were asking me to create a t-shirt for them. And they offered to pay me some money for making them the t-shirt. Now, honestly, I don't care whether I get any money from this or not. They've already done a lot for me, and I know for a fact that they're there for me if I contact any of these guys. This motorcycle club, it's a motorcycle club, man. It trips me out. I'm like, wow, these guys. When you think of motorcycle club, and if you ever watch the shows like Sons of Anarchy or anything like that, you wouldn't think there's a group of lowrider motorcycle club that's going to come and like help cancer patients. It blew my mind that these guys were even around, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I got to hang out with these guys, and I got to sit on one of their bikes. They just came by to visit me to check up on me one day, and man, I I didn't really express that I was going through a lot of pain, physical pain that day, but for a brief moment, for a good half hour or so, like I didn't even think of any of my aches and pains that I was going through physically that day. And it brought a smile to my face. I was really happy, and I was overwhelmed by the love and support I got from these guys. It was amazing, and they helped me, and it was awesome. And I appreciated it, and that meant a lot to me. And now I'm getting a little emotional. I need to stop.
Yeah.
I don't like doing all that. I get that. Okay. Anyway, art, money, and time. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, things that are important and that you're passionate about. I'm making time on my good days to train. I'm gonna try to make a design for a cool T-shirt for these guys, and whether I get money or not from it doesn't really matter to me. But they offered to break me off a little bit from it, and then they're going to use the rest of the money to help other people that are dealing with a rough time, dealing with cancer. And, people dealing with cancer on top of COVID-19, it's really dangerous to be out in public, and because cancer patients have a lower immune system, just like people with diabetes or any other health conditions. The elderly, if you're above the age of like 60, your immune system's not that great, and you could be in the hospital. And these are the people that are passing away from COVID-19. And to me, this is really important to me. And these guys have already done a lot for me, and I don't mind doing this work for free and spending time doing this stuff for these guys because it's a good cause and it's important to me. The message, if you can see on the screen, yeah, they're flipping off. It's a middle finger, but they're flipping off cancer itself. That's how passionate they are about fighting cancer and supporting those in need. And it's probably not a T-shirt you would want to give your kids, but in general, this would probably be a part of like maybe a good thing, a lesson on branding and creating art for for projects and stuff. Think about the customer and people in mind. So yeah, I won't get too much into that right now, but this is more about doing the art for free, time and money. I'm spending my time doing something that may pay, it may not, but who knows? It doesn't really matter. It's something I'm passionate about. It's something that's important to me, and I'm willing to do it for free because I care about it, right? So I'm done rambling, passing the mic off to
you. That's definitely something that doesn't really fall under the category of work. That's something that's important to you. So, if it benefits your work, great. But that's not why you're doing it, really. Just like there's definitely like a lot of times where I'm helping people. It does me no good. It takes up my time. Whether it is within comics or outside it. I've helped people all my life, and directly business related, some not. It's just my nature, and like yourself, like this is something you're doing, and that's important to you. And we should all be like doing that as humans.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one of the things I wanted to mention was there's no right way to do business, or I mean there's bad practices, but there's 100 ways to get to your goal, like in business. And you want to make a decent living, you want to do the work you're passionate about. I'm sort of my way is the long game. I've been sort of moving in this direction for a long time, and becoming clearer and clearer on the vision of it. And it's like I'm having fun along the way. It's like I want to ultimately be in charge of exactly what I'm doing. I'm not getting younger, and soon I really won't care about a lot of this stuff outside the projects themselves.
Yeah.
Because I'll just want to spend more time with people, like in person and all that. But meanwhile, it's I'm happy to work with other creators on their projects. I'm happy to help people with their projects, whether paid or not, and give whatever insight I can here on the YouTubes. But yeah, we should be, as freelancers and creators, we should be sort of following our dream, because I think that's what's going to fit me the most. Like, I've worked for Marvel in DC. It's definitely great to be working with them. Working on characters you grew up on, and being to work on their books, working with other professionals. It's a whole different high standard of putting work out, learned along the way. But one thing's for sure, working for Marvel in DC doesn't teach you how to do your own business. It's like what I improved on there was the actual work itself, as well as a lot of behind the scenes of how the books are created. So I hope that once I start publishing my own books, that people will take notice of, not only the story and the art are nice, and but everything else that comes with it. So one of the things I wanted to mention was there's no one path that works. There's multiple paths, and like you were saying, like, you kind of have to find your own way, what works best for you. And I know like what goes well for me, and it's kept me alive during the hard times. It's kept me going, kept me a roof over my head. I just know that I really need to up it to excel in what I want to do. You need to bring in a lot more money, and I do need to be more organized. That's like why I'm working on my studio, and I'm working on my business behind the scenes. All stuff that takes up time.
Yeah, and I think there's a good book that I read a while ago that I need to reread, and I feel like only recently my focus and this kind of comes and goes with my health issues, but my focus on focusing on what's important, and at the moment, there's, for me right now at the moment, is my health, and second would be generating an income once I'm through with my health issues. And it's 100%, those who been following me, and 100% have in my mind that I'm going to get through my health issues and move forward, and I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to making it as a comic artist. Whether I make my own book or not is kind of, I'm going to work on making a comic book for sure, 100%. I have an idea. I have a script that's not 100% finished, but mostly finished. But I need to rewrite it and reorganize my thoughts. And one thing I think we all need to keep in mind is maybe, um, like I was going back to the book, that made me in the past that I found very valuable. It's like when you have a lot of projects and things in mind, and ideas on how to scale up your income. It's the book is called The One Thing. So the idea and the concept behind the one thing is that, um, you know, we want to do all these projects, we want to sell all these things, and it asks a very important question. What is the one thing that you can do that will, um, help you achieve your goal? And if your goal is to, um, make more money, what is the one thing that you can do that will provide more income to you? And then you can go back and look at maybe artwork that you've sold, and, or maybe commissions that you've done or projects that you worked on. Okay, what's the one thing that you've done that has allowed you to make an income as an artist? So can you double down on that? That would probably be the next thing. What can you do to make yourself double down on what's made you the most income? And what can you do that's different from what you've done before? This is another question. What can you do that doesn't take up a lot of time, that you can do, um, that can possibly generate more income? This is the part where you probably want to fail quick and then learn from your failures. What works and what doesn't, and then can you scale up? And that's, things that I want to work on once I deal with my one thing, which is my health. My one thing at the moment is my health, and then art and other projects come second, because if I'm not healthy, I can't do the art, and if I can't do the art, I can't make no money, and I can't make no money. So number one, first and foremost for me, is my health. But if you're not in my situation, and everybody's situation is different. Again, like we said, everyone's different. We all have work at our own pace. We all have different things going on in our lives. I'm not the only one. We all have problems. Some people actually are way worse off than me. It happens. As some people are, barely making it. Some people, are fortunate enough, regardless of their skill level, have other ways of making money with their comics and their art. And like we've been saying over and over again, like, it depends on what works for you. What can you do to upscale? See, this is why I like having conversations with you, because we can ask questions and just think about these things. What can we do, improve our situation? And there's lots of ways. Let me ask you a question. What I'm gonna ask you the one question. What do you find as far as projects go? And you don't have to share numbers or anything like that, because I think everybody's different when it comes to money and how much we make. We either get embarrassed or we just think it's really private. So I don't want to get into actual dollar amounts. But what kind of projects do you think have brought you the most income as far as being an artist or a comic artist in general? Just the projects that you can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been hired as a penciler very few times. I've done pinups and only a couple of times where I did actual comic pages. So that's like, I consider that new for me. So, but it's mostly what I've done is inking. I've done some writing for people, but haven't really got paid doing that either. But yeah, as far as inking goes, I mean, a lot of the reason I'm shifting directions in my career is because what inking used to get me back in the day and what it gets me nowadays is two different things. I made a much better living with inking back in the day, and it's only like the rates have bottomed out, and it's a lot harder to get work as an inker because there's a lot more artists inking themselves. Um, you could still make a living inking, but um, I would definitely recommend to others to diversify somehow.
Yeah.
And that's I'm going to be getting into merchandising a bit. I'm going to be getting into doing a lot more prints. But like the focus of what I got coming up is I'll be working on my own comics, and that will sufficiently pay me, probably better than some of the inking gigs I'm getting. Um, you occasionally I get something where I'm paid better. I'm not really looking for work from the majors. I could be doing that, but I played that game. I've been there. It's like I work for the biggest two companies out there, so there's nothing really that interests me. And another thing, like when I was working for Mullen DC and working 7 days a week because their schedules are so grueling, I was 70% satisfied. There was always a part of me that wanted something more. I freaking love inking. I love working on different pencilers, and I could do that for the rest of my life. I was getting paid decently through Mullen DC. I wouldn't say I had the rate I would have wished for.
Yeah.
But there was a part of me that was creatively, I always wanted something more. As an inker, you're not controlling the destiny of anything you're working on. So I figured with writing and penciling, that would get me in better shape. If I did more than just inking. But I'm interested in working on my own creations, not working on big companies' creations. Not to say that I would turn them down if they offered me, but I'm not going out of my way to, seek it out. Been down that road.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you have a different things in the kettle that are providing an income, so you can make it. I mean, so you can get by essentially as an artist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got several different things going on in general. Yeah. And like, what's your ultimate goal as an artist, as a creator, and as someone that wants to make a living making comics and comic art and tell stories and all that? What's your ultimate goal? What's your vision, like as a comic artist? Like, what would be the perfect situation for you as an artist, as a creative person? What would that look like to you? I'm you know just thinking about it.
To Yeah, I mean, to be able to do anything I want and make a living off of it. Um, the easiest way to sort of lay it out for you is, I part of the reason I network so heavy, and I see this as uh, like I'm a giant sponge, and I'm checking out what a little bit of everybody is doing. Um, the vision of it is that those that are doing it successfully are like, it's like there's a bunch of small publishers out there, and they're putting out their books, and they're doing conventions, and they got merchandise, and they're looking into licensing their characters out to different things. And that's sort of the business model I want. To where I can create my characters, put out their books, have prints, have T-shirts, have whatever, and every little thing brings in the money, and I could focus more on working on the books themselves and working with the people. So the ultimate vision is that I set up my own studio, to where I have people working on my books, but they're also working on their own creations. So it's a constant learn, but it's also a constant teach as well. Because I love learning and growing my skills, but I also love teaching. Like if there's people out there that want to learn, then that's the ultimate, and you learn by teaching.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of for me. That's kind of that's how I've grown my art channel, and that's how I learned. Man, I mean, for those people that are watching, if you're older and you've ever even slightly considered doing digital art, I was in my 30s when I learned how to use Clip Studio Paint, and one of my most viewed videos is like I taught myself how to use the damn app with other tutorials, and I guess I explained it in a simple way, but it's like my biggest video on my channel. And like, I'm not, by no means do I consider myself a Clip Studio Paint expert, but I taught myself in my late 30s, and currently I'm in my early 40s, how to use an app. And I taught that. I taught what I figured out on my own, and I tried to explain things in a very simple way that I guess it connected with other artists that were trying to learn how to use the app. And a lot of my audience is actually around the 18 to 20 something range, and I'm like way older than these guys, and the younger generation has grown up, with technology. As soon as they're 5 or 6, they got like cell phones and things like that. And for me, I didn't have all that growing up. I was poor, and I would spend my $3 on a comic when I had $3 at the local comic book store. And I would go and write on ruled line paper that I might get for free from like a teacher or something. And those books were really cheap. I didn't always have money, and I had to. On my birthday, I would get like a sketchbook. My mom she's a wonderful artist, and my interest and love for art in general has always come through my mother. She's always been a really sweet person to me, and she's taught me how to really be expressive in your art and just really enjoy art in general. But for the most part,
That's awesome.
yeah, and it's taught me. Shit, I lost my train of thought. I started looking at the T-shirt that I was making, and I was thinking about my mom, and then I'm like, I lost my train of thought of what I was talking about. Plus, at the same time, I'm over here. I'm
Teaching?
Teaching. Okay, yeah, teaching. In other words, like you were saying, teaching what you learn. And I think that's a good thing. That's important. And, just sharing what you learn in general, that's good. And, and I think going back to like making money, a lot of people seem to be making courses on online and this is an idea to throw out there, courses online for different things. And I think you can make sort of a passive income is kind of like what you're talking about. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, like just finding a way to generate an extra income so you can continue doing the passion projects that you want. And that would be like, having merch and things like that kind of be sold along the side of your artworks and your works and creations. That would, if you set it up in a way that where people can just go to an online shop and order it and have it delivered, um, as long as you're making a decent margin off of, and this is the business side where you're making a decent amount of profit from what you sell. I think all these things are different skills that you have to learn as an independent artist, and it takes time and effort, and like we were talking about earlier, fail fast and learn quickly from your mistakes. Oh crap, I think we lost Pete. Pete, where you at? I'm live. I'm live. I'm going solo on this show, and I'm on his channel. Oh no, Pete. Where'd you go, Pete? We love you. We miss you. Man, he's been having some issues with his with delays and things on his computer, guys. So please have some patience. I'm sure he'll reconnect here in a second. I'm gonna look for my digital art pin here. But I'm gonna still talk, and I'm gonna keep the show going because this is an important topic, and I think a lot of people want to learn to make money, save time, and balance and manage things. These are things that we're all trying to figure out. And like I said, there's skills. These are things you have to learn. If you don't have the money to buy a course or books and things like that, you can always search on YouTube. This is where we're at right now. You can find resources to learn about making money and ways of making a passive income as an artist. It doesn't. If you're a comic book artist, you can do things like T-shirts. But I think that you back, Pete? Hello. I see you.
And I'm back.
Yes, he made it.
Yeah, my internet's really crapping out. I think I heard part of what you were saying. Yes, I'm aware. Like a lot of artists do, like have schools and do teaching online and that sort of thing. I would be doing that, but I'm actually more interested in working with people in person. So I'm more interested in eventually, like like setting up a building to where it's like one of the floors is full with art tables and just people I can walk past and say, hey, hey, let me help you with this. Looks like what you're doing is really good, but you can do this or that, the other thing, and just like it's like I went to art school and actually while I was in art school, I was helping the other students. It's just something I love doing, and you can do that online, but I still love doing it in person, and that's my ultimate vision.
That's cool.
To all that, and yeah. So we've gone over an hour. I know we can talk about all these subjects a lot longer. But I definitely want to sit down with my PC and see what the hell is up, and see if I can fix this and get my streaming going better, because this is totally annoying, not only for me, but I'm sure the audience.
Yeah. It's hard to keep anyone's attention if we drop out and things don't work right. It can be an issue. I totally understand, man. I totally understand and respect that. And I have to find my digital art pen because I'm
Yeah.
trying to work on a t-shirt. I had it right in front of me this morning because I was preparing for this, and then I don't know, I walked around my little tiny apartment and threw the damn pen somewhere, and I just got it, and I'm like, I hope I didn't lose it. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but I do want to work on this and focus on the.
I'm sure it's in the apartment somewhere.
Yeah, it's here
Yeah.
somewhere.
It didn't roll out the door and go down the block and.
Oh gosh, I would cry.
But well, I mean, there could be a lot of people watching, so that's great. You know, I hope they got a lot out of it. We had Katon for what is it 4258? No, 45225.
Yeah.
Some great advice here. Say earlier. So a lot of that was good. Thank you everybody for watching. Please give the video a like. It always gets more people if it gets a lot of likes. If you're not already subscribed and you're watching today, then please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow it to 1,000 and beyond. Seems like I hit like 823. And I've had a lot of people subscribe to my channel, but I had almost just as many unsubscribe. I'm kind of in that weird flux position. But yeah, I'm just trying to grow my channel. If you want to support what I do, you can become a patron for $1 or more. That's highly helpful. I have a bunch of patrons, so I love that. I also have a paypal.me/Peter Palmiotti where you can just throw me money for coffee or food for my cats or whatever. It's always appreciated. I thank you everybody for watching today, and especially thank Chris for coming on and chatting with me, diving deep into all that makes us happy.
Yeah, absolutely. We like I love having these conversations. We come up with ideas and share our thoughts, and we do our best to have a good time having good conversations about making art, comics, and money. Like, who doesn't want to make money? We all want to make money. Dollar bills, yo.
That's right.
I'm
Yep.
being silly.
Is there any? No problem. Are there any links or anything you want to tell people? Now's your chance.
At the moment, if you're new to me and who I am, I have my YouTube channel. It's called Comics with Chris, and I talk a lot about making comics and in general. And this, I tend to veer off on occasion on other topics on art in general, but the main focus has always been the process of making comics, making art. And next year, once I get through with all my health issues, I'm going to be doing a whole lot more good stuff. Make it really fun as possible and do some challenges, just some silly stuff every now and then to see what works as far as YouTube goes. And I'll be sharing everything that I learn with the YouTube audience on making comics. So if you're new to me and you want to follow that stuff, you can on my channel, Comics with Chris. And that would probably be the best thing to do. And from there, I have merch and artwork and other things like that I'll share with on occasion. But my main focus is always going to be you and helping you, learn more about comics, enjoy the medium, the art, and make it really fun. That's my goal. And if I can make at least one person smile while learning something new, then I've done my job. That's what's important to me with my YouTube channel. So, but I think in general, we can all do that.
Awesome.
No matter what type of art you create, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you again for everybody. And Chris, I'm sure we'll talk again. Definitely behind the scenes we'll be talking. And yeah, I'll be streaming. Well, I'll be tonight a guest once again on CreatorCon event. That's on Facebook and YouTube. We're streaming tonight at 9 o'clock with Philip Russet, who'll be interviewing me. And then Sunday for sure, I'll be doing my Pimp Your Comic, which is every comic creator, come on my channel. I'll be throwing out the link constantly so you can actually join the stream and talk about your comic. And if you got a crowdfunder, that's all the better. Try to get you funded. So yeah, till next time, take care, everybody. Enjoy what you're doing, and like Chris said, have fun. Take care.